Morning, everyone. Everyone who knows me knows this is my favorite time of the morning. Morning glory. So today I just wanted to share about a scripture that I was reading this morning. So Luke chapter 11 verse 38 to 43. It speaks about Jesus resurrecting Lazarus. Now, I didn't want to get into the whole dynamics of him resurrecting him and whatnot, but I wanted to highlight the teamwork that happens between Lazarus and Jesus and why people have to be there when you get resurrected. Okay, so what happens is, okay, Jesus comes to the tomb, and then he doesn't say come out. He says, Lazarus, come out. Because had he just stood there and said come out, every dead thing, every dead person, everything would have come out because of Jesus's power, right? So he calls his name first to come out. Now Lazarus hears his name. And then, remember now, it says Lazarus was bound in a bandage like hands and feet. This means when he heard the name, he didn't just rock up, get up, and just walk out of there. It meant that where he was laid, those tombs, like the old tombs, there's a bed where they put you there, where you are wrapped up. Meaning when Lazarus heard Jesus, he must have rolled down from there, fell from there, and then rolled over on the ground. Oh, here's the kicker. Before he calls him out, he asked people to remove the stone, to remove what was blocking the grave. See, the thing is, there needs to be light. There needs to be light for you to be able to hear. So Jesus tells the people to remove the rock out of the way. And then he begins to speak to Lazarus. You must remember, Jesus is the light. And if he comes in the room, there must be light so that we can be able to recognize his voice. So as he is speaking now to Lazarus, he is speaking to Lazarus, understanding that Lazarus is not only in full darkness anymore. There is a form of light coming through where the door of the grave was, where the stone that was blocking the light was. Okay? So now we understand that the stone has been moved out of the way so that the form of light can come through, so that a way for Lazarus to come out is made. And who did that? Jesus. Nobody. Jesus. Excuse me, but because Jesus assigned people to roll the stone out of the way, he said, roll it out of the way so that I can be able to do what I do. And then after the stone has been rolled out of the way, he then proceeds to call Lazarus. Remember, Lazarus was bandaged all the way up, right? And when he's called, now he must have fell over. He is rolling down on the ground. He is moving like a worm. He is trying to make his way where he heard the voice that is calling him out, right? And as he's doing all of this extra stuff, because he wants to get out too. And this is the thing, you must want to get out, because there's a point where Jesus calls you out, and if you do not want to come out, you're not going to come out. There's nothing nobody can do for you. There's nothing any preacher can preach to you. You must want to get out, bandaged and all, no help at all. He was in that grave alone. He was there by himself. And then he found a way to come out, because Jesus said, Lazarus, come out. He called out his name and said, you must come out. And the people were waiting outside to see this miracle of Lazarus coming out. And remember, because he is bandaged from head to toe, this man cannot see his way out. This man cannot feel his way out. This man cannot undo this wrapping because he is wrapped up. His hands are not able to move. His feet are not able to move. So I'm thinking the only option he has is to move like a worm or roll over or whatever. But he did what he did. And as he's rolling over, obviously he's hitting brick walls on the sides until he finds the one that is not going to hit him and push forward and go through the door and go through what seemed like light. We all know, even when you are sleeping, when it's dark in the room, you can feel it. But if someone comes through the room and switches on the light, you're going to feel where the light is at. So this is what Lazarus was doing while he was in the grave. While he was in the grave by himself, being called out, he was trying to find his way out. He found his way out by himself because he followed Jesus' voice. And so after Lazarus did all the work, after Lazarus did the work blind, did the work up, did the work without any help, he did the work himself in the grave to get himself out, because Jesus only said, come out. And that meant that Jesus was giving him a green light, that it is your time to come out. Doesn't matter if you've been dead for 4 days and then you're stinking and everybody has written you off and everybody has said that nothing will come out of you now because you're already dead. It didn't matter as long as Jesus spoke the word and said, come out. And when he's speaking specifically to Lazarus, Lazarus had to do the work because Jesus was not calling anybody else. He was just calling Lazarus at that time. So Lazarus did not look around and ask and scream and want help from anybody else. He did what he had to do to find his way out. And only after he comes out, then the people, and then Jesus says now to the people, untie him. Untie him, so that the life now that exists in Lazarus, the dead Lazarus is gone, he is left in the grave. Now the alive one, excuse me, now the alive one is about to live. So they have to unwrap and remove each and everything that was binding him, each and everything that was making it difficult for him to move. Only then does Jesus speak to the people and say, help him. So we need to understand that if you are waiting for someone to save you, Jesus is going to speak to you. Jesus is going to speak to you and call you by your name. But it is up to you to do the work by you. Your grave is going to happen and you're going to have to come out by yourself. And the people that you are waiting for them to help you out of the grave, out of the whatever, they're not coming. You're going to have to do the work by yourself. And this is why only people come in at the end when you have finally made it, and then you get pissed off. Or say, oh, baby, and when I was struggling. No, they were not supposed to be there. You were supposed to learn the lessons while you were by yourself in your grave. So with that said, I pray that you understand that the journey that you're on is your own. And you're going to have to fight and find and crawl and roll and do whatever that you have to do to find your way out. Grace and peace. Until next time.